paying for gas.
Lions fans, what's going on? This super weathery day in Michigan right now. Man, we getting everything from rain to possible snow to possible ice storm and tornadoes all in one in Michigan, right? That's kind of where the fan base is right now. You know, you have one side that's like, okay, whatever Brad Holmes is doing, he's doing. And then you have the other side that's like, come on, Brad Holmes, do more. So, and then you have the in-betweens. So, league meetings were taking place.
Obviously, since last time we wrapped up,
if you haven't had the chance to watch
agency,
the two interviews,
the bulk of it's already
3 interviews, actually, 2 with Brad Holmes and 1 with Dan Campbell. They have the basic ones on the Lions website over there, so y'all can go and check that out. But also, Brad Holmes went around to a couple of other shows and sat down and, you know, did some talking about the off season and where we are currently when it comes to the draft. And it's very informational to some. For me, it's more of the same old, same old. First and foremost, let's address Za'Darius Smith. Za'Darius Smith was a money thing, right? We didn't have enough money for him. Some of us is buying it, some of us is not, you know. I'm not buying it. There's no way in the world you're going to tell me you can pay those pennies to Za'Darius Smith. I know you got to pay these other guys in Hutch and Kirby, and then you're going to pick up the option for J-Mo and, you know, all of those things. But you still, if your cap department can't figure out ways to make his contract fit, they need to be fired. I've seen teams pull more extravagant rabbits out of their hat than signing Za'Darius Smith for the little bit of pennies that he's asking you for. So for me personally, it's missed me with that. But I mean, it is what it is. He's still in contact with his agent. You know, that's fine. It would be nice to have him back. It would be nice to have him back. I know we got Aiden Hutchinson. He's coming back off the injury. The Lions, they're confident about it as an organization. I'm confident about it as a fan based off of what I've seen. But before he got injured, the question was, are we going to get him legit help? We brought back Davenport, who was a question mark. We don't know if he's going to stay healthy. History says no. You have project players still on this team. You got guys like Roderick Martin that you hope can fill in and, you know, help fill the void for Lynn McNeil, who's not going to be ready for the first part of the season. That was confirmed. So, in the draft, is that where you have to go now? Or is obviously there's still time for them to make a signing, but is it a combination of the draft and that? You know, like he said before, he wants to get 3 edge rushers if he can. Obviously, we got guys around Muhammad. We have Onzarike. We have Pascal. And all of these guys are depth guys. We're looking for that solid guy that is going to get home consistently when it comes to the sack department. That's what we're looking for. And how he acquires that is how he's going to acquire that. I'm just holding him to the standard to do it. I don't care how you do it. I just want it done before the very first game of our season. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. At this point, I am not interested in how you do it. Just do it. Just do it, man. Whether you draft, you know, Shamar Stewart or Pierce or whoever it is, or you go in the second round and get somebody like Jack Sawyer, who finished out Ohio season a little bit better than what he was because his tape was not appealing at all. But he did finish the season strong over there. If that's the route we go, that's the route we go. I can't argue with that. I just want it done. That's my message to Brad Holmes. As far as Dan Campbell goes, obviously Dan Campbell's going to go right with Brad Holmes. He's not going to say anything different. Obviously, they put their heads together to do everything, and they explain how that process goes. So, that's the obvious. Dan's also a player's coach, right? He's the guys in the locker rooms guy. So he's not going to say anything to get guys' jobs taken or get guys off the roster, or that'll be private conversation. He's not going to come in the media and say, well, this player sucked, and that's not going to happen. But they made it very clear about a couple of questions that we had. One of them was J-Mo, and if they pick up his 5th-year option. I've seen some stories written out there, obviously from the Geek Squad, saying that they probably wouldn't. That's typical Geek Squad stuff, right? You'd be a damn fool not to pick up his option. And the reason why, his talent level, J-Mo still has more growth to do. This season is the season for him. He has to have, if he wants to stay in Detroit, he has to have an amazing season this season, because paying 2 receivers, just like Brad Holmes said, is expensive. It can be done, but you have to be a certain caliber. The Bengals just did it. It can be done, but you have to be pure and utterly dominant at your position. It has to be undeniable that you need to be on this team. And currently, right now, at where he is and the way that they use him, it's not enough. It's not enough to go past and extend him. So he has a season ahead of him. Guys like Roderick Martin, who's a project, some of these names like that, they have seasons ahead of them. And, Brad Holmes said that, of course, they know that's what type of ordeal that they got coming up this season. So, when we brought guys like Roderick Martin in here, he was a project from the start. We knew that. But it's time for him to start showing a little bit more. He had the highs and lows when he was available out there. It's time for him to start showing a little bit more and possibly be a guy that we can keep around, because, like I said, guys like Reader and them, they're not going to be around forever. We need guys that we draft to develop into replacement spots. Guys like Giovanni Manu, we need all of these guys to start hitting some gears. We drafted them to take a few years to get things going and possibly see what we got out of them. This is going to be an evaluation year for a lot of those guys. That's pretty much what Brad Holmes was saying. So, but having depth at those spots, especially at edge rusher, obviously is more important than anything, because edge rusher sets the tone. The defense, if the defensive line sets the tone for everybody behind them, and that's one of the most important positions to have depth at, because you look at the amount of attrition that we suffered last year. You have to have that, more so than a corner or a safety or something else. You have to have that at least, because we all know the rules of football, right? You got a dominant front line. Everybody behind them is going to look like a superstar. So we're pretty much still at the same spot right now. Like I said, to me, there was no new language when it comes to the league meetings. The Lions did make a lot of proposals. One of them was to keep the tush push going. They're going to vote on that. They got some of the things that we put in that were tabled. They tabled them, so it's going to take a while before we see the results of that. They're going to have to vote on them and everything else. But you can go on the website and look at those if you're interested to know what the Lions as an organization put in as far as new things in the league. One of them I know has something to do with defensive holding being an automatic first down, which is the most annoying thing in the world. Defensive holding is an automatic first down. It's annoying as hell. It really is, man. I've always said, why is that automatically? Anyway, you can go on the website and look those up, but take the time and watch those interviews if you haven't. And like I said, we'll continue to keep our eyes open and see what's going on with the Detroit Lions as we lead up into the draft. There's a lot of mock drafts, a lot of different versions out there, but most of them are consistently saying some of the same names, which are, guys like Nick Scorton in the later round, guys like Shamar Stewart, guys like James Pierce, which, people continue to say the character stuff, and I keep pointing out, I keep clipping website, writers, editors, all the clips that I can find explaining to people that it's not a real thing, but they keep reporting it for some reason. It's so annoying. But we'll see who the Detroit Lions decide to go with at 28. If we decide to trade up, whatever we decide to do, it's all in Brad Holmes' part. And a lot of people always say, trust Brad Holmes, have faith in Brad Holmes. You can do that, that's fine. I'm too grown for that. I just want to see results. Only thing I got faith in is, y'all know, happy Passover, right? Yeah, so with that said, leave it in the comment section, man. Let me know what you guys thought about those interviews when you have the chance to watch them, if you haven't. And, like I said, I'll keep you guys informed and updated as it goes. I'll see you guys later.